we'll give him a signature hello good game just to wrap up early, because we know he's not going to be able to handle that mentally. It's just going to break him, which was actually the inspiration behind hello good game, was just mentally breaking your opponent like this, because it's not that we're BMing him, but you can stab him with that good jab right when he's like contemplating or frustrated, etc., and it's just going to be enough to kind of push him over the edge. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to check out Hello Good Game. Today, we're continuing along with our MTG Arena free-to-play guide for beginners budget deck series. I know that's a lot, but so we've done all of the monocolors, all of the dual colors, and now we're working our way through the 3-color decks. Obviously, these are the least viable of the set, just because you need so many rare lands to make these decks consistent enough to be competitive. However, if you're just looking to have some fun with friends, these 3-colored budget decks are definitely right up your alley. Again, maybe I wouldn't be doing constructed events or standard events with them, but again, great just for having fun with your friends. And I would like to add that the Grixis is maybe one of the most viable 3-color decks, just because there's some really heavy nukes in there, and a lot of really cool uncommons that are just going to limp you through the game until you can get that nuke out, right? So let's take a look at the deck. We have 1 Dreadhorde Butcher. This is just early aggro. 3 Drown and Lock. This is going to destroy / counter, and it just gets stronger the longer the game goes on. Thought Erasure for the tempo play. We can take something from their hand, and we get the Surveil. Tyrant Scorn. This is just going to bounce or remove things as well. Angrass Rampage. This is more removal. Murderous Rider, more removal, plus a little bit of life gain. Narset is a draw engine for us, plus at tempos there, draw it down. We have Cry of the Carnarium to do the wipe of the field. We have Chemistry's Insight, just as a little bit of more draw. Blood for Bones, so this is going to bring back a couple things here. We have Draxuth, Maw of Flames, Agent of Treachery, and then our Dreadhorde Butcher / Murderous Rider, which shouldn't hit our graveyard, so we probably won't be using that. But primarily, Agent of Treachery, and then if you can swing it, Draxuth, Maw of Flames. We also have Fires of Invention, just to open up a little bit more mana usage later on. We also have Nico Bolas, Dragon God. This is our Mythic, so that's a really powerful card. Whenever you get that in your draw hand, obviously keep it. We have 4 Discoveries, 1 Convive and 1 Concoct. We're using the Concoct here primarily just to get our Agent of Treachery or our Draxuth, Maw of Flames from the graveyard. And then Agent of Treachery is going to take control of a target permanent your opponent controls, and then Draxuth, Maw of Flames just blows up the whole game. Whenever he attacks, he deals 4 damage to any target, 3 damage to up to 2 other targets. So you can do 7 damage to 1 target and 3 to another, plus attack for 7, which is absolutely incredible. That's basically it, though. Obviously, we have the lands, right? The life gain lands. If you have the rare lands, include those, because that is going to be the best way for you to get that win rate up. Obviously, there's a couple things that we could change. It is nice Fires, even though we don't have a ton to drop on top of it, there's still enough to get value out of it. We had a couple really interesting matches before we got on to record here, so we wanted to get into that before we got too far along just playing the deck. So let's see what we can kind of get into now that we've started to record. Big reminder to all of our viewers that if they subscribe, they're going to be entered in to win 500,000 gems. And if you want to know more about that, once you have subscribed, just go to my YouTube page and then scroll down to the bottom. The last playlist there is titled Gem Giveaways, and you can watch a couple videos there to familiarize yourself with all of those details. I think we're going to sit on it. We've got that Thought Erasure, right? We have Angrass Rampage as well. So we're going to chill. A little bit of life gain in the land. Interesting. Let's see what else is in that hand of his. So Thought Erasure is great because you not only get to take something from his hand, which we absolutely should be, but You also get to see what's in his hand, so you know what's coming up for the most part. Probably going to cast some Falmir Knights and try to get some draws. Or maybe just aggro us out, which it seems to be. That's alright. We have access to Drown in the lock next turn. Nothing for 3. We're just going to chill here. Gain a little bit more of that life like we talked about. Maybe even go ahead and just push off a little bit more. We have 4 land. Oh, Tyrant Scorn could probably stay. Ideally, I'm looking for a Cry or a Murderous Rider, actually. So maybe we'll toss those. Thought Erasure is great because that's going to take Reaper of the Night away. And Edgewall Innkeeper is really nice. He gets the draw here. We're counting on a Cry of the Carnarium. We do have 4 in the deck, so pretty good chances. We do pull a Narset, which could be worse. And it could draw us it. Let's go into his hand, though. We can't afford to discard 2 cards. That's too good. Another Thought Erasure. And stay, I suppose. I wouldn't mind getting rid of that Murderous Rider as well. We're still at 19 life, so sitting pretty. We're stacking lands until Agent of Treachery comes out, right? So 3 lands away from that. We do have access to Narset. Looking in his graveyard, which worries us. Hopefully we avoid Questing Beast. We don't. He's going to play that next turn on us, which is less than ideal. We do get another Thought Erasure, though, so we can snipe that out again. Discovery can go. We need land or Cry of the Carnarium. 45 cards left. Like a 1 in 10 chance that we'll pull it or something. Down to 9, so it's getting pretty risky. Pull a land. We're going to drop our Narset. We do have Drown in the Lock available, but it's not going to counter much because he only has 2 cards in his graveyard. We do find Cry, so that's great. So we just want to chill out for 1 more turn. Taking a ton of damage here. He's leaving my Narset up, which could be a mistake, potentially. He does have the Murderous Rider, which is going to kill it, but with a wiped field and 3 life left, are we able to stabilize and work our way out of this? Okay. Let's take the Narset draw first. So this is a weird situation. But I'm thinking Blood for Bones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. We have Anagrass. We have enough to counter his single target spells after the wipe. that shouldn't really be a problem. Right, and even if we end up having to take his Murderous Rider, that should still be okay. And again, this is all counting on the fact that we draw a land next turn. If we don't, we can use Angrass Rampage. He does opt to draw a card with his Felomir Knight. Respectable. With so many life, why wouldn't you? And then he's going to play the Innkeeper and play the Knight on top. Very nice, very nice. We should have taken that other cry. We are low in life. He doesn't get the draw, which is actually really nice. But he's just gone so wide on us that we absolutely 100% need to draw land. There it is. So, this is pretty groovy. I believe his Murderous Rider's in exile. He's already cast it. We're going to take his Lovestruck Beast. That's a pretty big blocker, right? Another Innkeeper, that's fine. Now I assume he's going to play his Murderous Rider. Killing his own beast, which is pretty cool. But still not in a great position to be attacking. We're going to let him have it. So, this is weird. This is really, really weird. And not a situation that we really ever want. We don't have any other creatures in the graveyard, so it doesn't really work that well. Let's just go for it. Submit one. Obviously, we're taking him back. We're going to take an Innkeeper. Three. That's worth 3. We're going to hold the phone, end our turn. We really need to get lucky with some draws here. We can counter whatever he plays for the most part, as long as it's under 3, I guess. Which that is. Right, so this is a pretty nice counter. Just because we're not dealing with 5/5, we have nothing to deal with a 5/5, right? Then Murderous Rider gets in, gets him the draw as well. But it's just a land, so it could be worse. And then we get the block with his Felomir Knight. We're playing fires, obviously. And then we need him to sacrifice a creature. Which is still not good. Like, we're still in such bad shape, you guys. No attacks. We can cast Dispersal, which is great. Yeah. And then we can take his Giant, and that should save us for the most part. No, that won't work. His Giant's still in his hand till 7. We're going to kill his Innkeeper here. Take 2 damage. Not the worst. Not the worst. We gain 1 life here. And we basically have to cast this now. right? So he's going to have to discard his copy. We get the attack in. And here's the giant, so this is where it gets interesting. Narset health, we have a blocker for 1 turn. Tyrant Scorn works as well. Sucks that that was our second play though. So we need to avoid removal and block his Beanstalk Giant somehow. If he has another Murderous Rider, we're dead. A Midnight Reaper is really good too. He's able to discard there. Losing our Agent of Treachery, which sucks. Ooh, 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 we pull a Bolus though, so that's as good as it gets. And Angrass Rampage is going to help me out there as well. I'm just going to have him sacrifice a creature first off. Get rid of the giant. And then we're going to go ahead and play our Bolus on top, and that should pretty much win us the game, I think. We do have Fires out, we've got Bolus now, and a Narset. So we're just going to continue to plus Bolus. And yeah, just wrap this game up here, hopefully. I mean, admittedly, we could get pretty screwed. We're going to keep the land to use it on a Chemister's Insight next turn, so we're not going to play that. And we can -3 our Bolus on his Reaper. Let's go ahead and take that draw. Good game. Beautiful. So, like I said, there's a lot of room in this Grixis deck. There's a lot to do and a lot to annoy your opponent with. With the Esper deck, I feel like it's so reliant on just the wipes. The land is maybe a little harder to balance. I know they're both 3 colors, but it just seems to be a lot easier with Grixis a lot of the time. Fires also helps a lot because as soon as you get to 4 and drop Fires, then all of your land just becomes multicolored anyways, right? And the tapped lands are no longer tapped. So when you're playing as a budget deck, Fires really helps speed things up. Let's play one more round before we call our quits for the day. Again, if you guys have any rare lands, put those in the deck. That's just going to make it that much more consistent. We have a couple more 3-color decks to look at before we cycle into our intermediate builds. We are looking at Jund and Naya, and then we have Bant, Jeskai, Sultai, Mardu, Temur, and yeah, we might do a 5-color, but I feel like that's impossible. So we'll keep this hand. Hopefully it's an aggro deck because we have our cries. Excuse me. We have a Thought Erasure, so we'll get to see here next turn what we're playing against. It is a black deck, and here comes a skeleton. So let's see if we can get rid of a Witch's Oven. We have to get rid of Vraska, Golgari Queen. It's just such a good card. Land doesn't need to stay there. We can keep looking around for some other cards. We know he's got ramp. We know he's got plenty of food. Massacre Girl, we can't necessarily deal with other than Angrass Rampage once we wipe the field from beneath them. Just gain the life, playing the slow land. Do a little bit of surveilling here. Narset can stay. That's always nice. We get a draw with her, and then our opponent usually attacks her as well, so it's a great way to shut him down. And then Trail of Crumbs is going to allow him to start drawing cards as well, so we can shut that down as well. So this is perfect. Our opponent's basically played what he can, and we're going to clean it up right here. He doesn't drop a land, we're laughing. He gets it. And he's gonna sacrifice a food, draw a card, I'm assuming. That's fine. Basically using his whole turn. Which is going to allow us to sneak our Narset out and not immediately have her blasted as well, right? So that's pretty cool. Looking at Cry of the Carnarium, I'm thinking, what in the hell? People still run that? So let's get Narset out, and that's going to stifle his draw if he tries again. We have Cry. Let's just take another one. Why not? We'll let him know that we have it, even though we've got two of them. Just because I feel like there's a lot more where that came from, right? So now we see probably Massacre Girl hit the field. Midnight Reaper, that's okay. We can Cry that all day. We'll actually pull another Addengrass Rampage, so that will allow us that option as well. Let's just go ahead and get rid of that Reaper. Kind of a weird way to do it, but why not? That's why he did it. Very nice. So save your Cry of the Carnarium for things that you actually are going to need to exile. Luckily we had a spare in our hand, but if we didn't, we kind of would have been screwed here. We'll give him a signature hello good game just to wrap up early, because we know he's not going to be able to handle that mentally. It's just going to break him. Which was actually the inspiration behind hello good game, was just mentally breaking your opponent like this, because it's not that we're BMing him, but you can stab him with that good jab right when he's like contemplating or frustrated, etc., and it's just going to be enough to kind of push him over the edge. So we had pretty good luck today with Grixis Budget. 1 mythic, 6 rares. It's really all you need apparently. Cry of the Carnarium, run 4 of those in any black deck right now, and that's going to counter a lot of the meta, because a lot of the meta is Cauldron Familiar, which is Oven, and then we see the skeletons, which are poor man versions of Gutter Bones as well. So obviously we are in our new studio setup. The internet's a little bit slower, as you can tell, but that's not going to slow us down. We're streaming every day still. We're doing 365 days this year of streaming at the exact same time, 6 a.m. PST, 7 a.m. MST, so right in the morning in the West, lunchtime kind of in the UK, and in the evening if you're in the Great East. So with that being said, make sure to like and comment this video, share it to any of your friends or peer group who you think might be interested in it, drop it in the forums, throw it on Reddit, whatever you guys want. I'd love the coverage. And then go ahead, subscribe to the channel, get yourself some gems through our gem giveaway, 500,000 gems, yada yada yada. I know I've said it a billion times. but I've got to do it every single video. So with that all being said, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and we will see you all tomorrow.